Hi everyone, my name is Erin Andy. I'm the school librarian and site technology facilitator at Glen Oaks Magnet High School in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And today, I had it on the wrong slide, but there you go. Today we're talking about how one might need to act in the upcoming year whenever we're doing remote learning. However, we end up doing it, probably digital education, remote learning is going to play a big part this year. And we need to think about how we act whenever we're using, this technology and these tools. So the title for this presentation is Panther Digital Etiquette and Expectations. And let us begin. Now, Panther Digital Etiquette and Expectations are objectives. The learner will be reminded of the behavior expectations in the district and school handbooks, and learn to remember basic digital guidelines that will benefit them during the year. Handbooks. Look what it says. It says, remember that you are responsible for all behaviors in district and school handbooks, school policies and guidelines, etc. To receive a district Chromebook, you need to sign the district's handbook agreement. So many of you picked up your Chromebooks last spring. And before you picked them up, you signed, you and a guardian or, whoever signed a couple of pages. What you actually were signing was for the district handbook that you were agreeing to the policies. Our technology policy, our Chromebook policies are all integrated into that. Okay. So no matter what I say here, well, really it all should work hand in hand what's in those handbooks. But remember, what you are ultimately held to, please remember, ultimately held to is whatever is in those handbooks, school policies and guidelines, etc. Anything that's, official. Please ultimately go back to those for your behavior. But what I'm going to talk about today is some basic guidelines that hopefully will go along with those. If you ever need to look at a copy of the handbook before making a decision or afterwards to see if what you did was, correct or incorrect, remember that that is housed on the district website, the Spanish Parish School District website. And, when it's updated, we will update it as well on the Glen Oaks Magnet High School website. So you have at least two places to get it. All right. Please remember, always held to the standards of the district and student handbooks, policies, guidelines, etc. But hopefully what I'm going to tell you right now should go hand in hand with that. So, just day to day before you have to pull out the handbook, let's think about how a Panther might work in the digital world this upcoming year. So we are Panthers at Glen Oaks Magnet High School. So let's think like a Panther, and let's begin with P. All right. Privacy and passwords are respected. Okay. You need to think about this. The username and password is, that you're using to get into, various programs, a Chromebook, a school desktop, that is your username and password. It is unique to you. You are not to share it with anyone. Okay. At all times, things are figuring out who is logged in. This could get you in trouble because if you give it to someone else or they figure it out, they could be impersonating you. You could also have the problem that you accidentally save yourself and save your stuff in someone else's account, and there's not much I'm going to be able to do for you in that situation. It's just sitting somewhere else. Passwords are meant to be respected. Okay? They are to be protected. The district has taken a lot of care in putting in, safeguards, whether with the Clever account and trying to protect your stuff, to protect your personal student data. That is both federal, state laws, that's policy, that's guidelines. The district and school are trying it on their end to do everything they can. You need to uphold your, end of the agreement as well. Passwords are to be respected. They are not to be handed out easily. Okay? Student, guardian, those are really the only ones outside of the, school education system, the faculty administration, who should be able to see that. Please don't hand it out. Okay? Notice I'm also going to do that as well. I will happily, if someone needs to know their password, their username and password, they can email me. But if I can't figure out how that person is related, that they're a parent or guardian, I won't release the username and password. I'm going to have to know who I'm releasing it to. The district felt so strongly about this, but wanted you to be able to have it, that if you have access to your J Campus account, where you see your student grades, your username and password is now being put there, but you have to sign in, so it is protected. Think privacy, okay? We're all going to be seeing a lot of things. Things might get recorded. Things are being, can get out there very fast. Um, Respect someone's privacy. Okay. Like I said, I'm not just going to hand out usernames and passwords to whoever app, happens to ask. I need to know that it's a parent, guardian, or the student. Okay. But I also want you to notice something else, what it says about respected. Okay. Please recognize that in most situations, you should be using district issued accounts, usernames and passwords, district issued devices. I'll be upfront. There are multiple programs that are scanning pretty much everything that anybody does on those things. Be aware that while your privacy is being respected, with federal and state laws and personal data and stuff like that, district device, that is also actually, a lot of it has to do with, federal law for protection of children. There are, programs that are scanning. Every person who works on a school campus, myself included, is a mandated state reporter. Certain things that we see, we have to by law report. Okay? So notice it will be respected. Sometimes something needs to be reported. No matter what, though, everything should be done with the idea that privacy and passwords are respected. Let's go to A. Act according to basic school norms and rules, but I put in there in a digital world. Okay, ultimately, you may or may not be sitting in a school classroom, but you are going to school. And there are certain norms and rules about how one acts in a class. So, for example, in the real world, we're supposed to take turns with talking. You don't just blurt out. In the digital world, it's the same thing. That might also mean muting your mic. Okay, that's a standard practice for me when I go into a Google Meet. I mute my mic until it's my time to talk. That way, I don't accidentally or intentionally disrupt the class. Okay, think about acting according to basic school norms and rules in a digital world. How would you translate that? Okay, being on time, being prepared, muting your mic so you don't, interrupt someone accidentally. These are all things where you should act according to basic school norms and rules. All right. N, network using approved district learning management systems. Okay. The district has taken a lot of care for figuring out which programs it is paying for. Those programs meet a wide variety of requirements, both federal and state laws related to children and information, ease of use, whether or not they can get tech support, things of that nature. It is expected that whenever you are working with, the district devices, district accounts, etc., that you are using the things that are approved in the district. Okay, so for example, many people talk about conference calls as Zoom. And I mean, Zoom's a great product. I personally use it in my personal time a lot. But for the East Baton Rouge Parish School System, the two for, video conference calls that are approved are Microsoft Teams, Google Meet. Zoom is not one of them. Now, I can think of several parishes in Louisiana where Zoom is one, but not here. Nobody should be using that if they want to, receive tech support and things of that nature. Okay, so always network using approved district learning management systems, whatever those are. Okay. Here's a biggie that is yours for life. Think twice about typing and talking. Okay. So no matter what you think, nothing ever really disappears in the digital world. Somebody can always find it or retrieve it, it seems. So think twice about typing and talking. When you're typing, you lose all of the facial expressions and the tone of voice that helps people understand whether you're joking, kidding, mad, however, whatever you may feel. That doesn't come through as well when you type. So before you type, how does it sound? How does it read? Before you talk, think about before you press that button in a Google Meet. It's highly possible something is being recorded. Your teacher might be recording it for later on for students who need to review. Think about what you type and talk, okay? You don't want to be accused of cyberbullying. You don't want something to come back to you in a way that you would not feel appropriate with, that being seen. So always think twice about typing and talking. So chats, texting, anything where you have to type and talk, think twice. A good Panther, who's trying to honor all this, I shouldn't say good, but a Panther who is trying to honor this etiquette and expectations, honors their own time and the time of others, okay? The digital world is very different than the class world. There's what's called asynchronous and synchronous learning. Synchronous is when you're actually in real time, so like a Google Meet, everybody gathering. But a lot of the digital world and digital learning is asynchronous, which means that, think about a chat that might go on for days because this person, wrote something and then this person did 2 hours later. That's asynchronous. But no matter what, we honor our time. So, if a teacher puts in office hours, for the most part, they should meet those. If you agreed and set up a meeting with them during that time period and you can't come, you should let them know. And if not, be on time. Okay. If you need to, put in a work request that your device is having issues, think about it. Do it as soon as possible. The closer we get to things like end of the year tests and, midterms and stuff like that, that's not really honoring your time or the person who you wanted to fix. Think about an email that's sent at, 10 o'clock at night. Should you expect someone to, answer it before 8 in the morning? Okay. Honor your own time and the time of others. E, ethically use digital and physical resources. So I'm a librarian. This is a big deal for me. It should be for you. There is copyright out there. People own their own material. You don't want to be accused of plagiarism, okay, of taking and just, copying, pasting, things of that nature. You need to give credit where credit is due. You need to think about how much of something you're using. Okay. Is this the legal way to do it, the approved official way, of a video, perhaps on YouTube or, another platform? Also think physical resources. Okay. We are in the middle of a pandemic. And I'm recording this towards the end of July of 2020 and currently in East Baton Rouge and in East Baton Rouge Parish School System and in many other places. If I accept back a Chromebook or a library book from someone, I have to quarantine it for 3 days before I can hand it out again. Perfectly understandable. We're trying to make sure nothing's on it. So think about it. Does that mean that if you happen to end up at school at some point that you should just be touching everything? That's not being very ethical, okay? Think about it. Ethical use of digital and physical resources. R. Okay, this kind of sums it all up, but this might talk a little more about the physical stuff of, the devices. Respect the tech tools provided by the district. Okay, so the district is providing you with a large amount of stuff. Chromebooks, possible hotspots, a variety of learning management systems, online. That's to be respected. Now, I know each one of your Chromebooks because I have processed it in some way. I fully know that some Chromebooks, a hinge is going to die. They're at the end of their life at some point. Okay. That's fine. I understand. Honor my time and your time by reporting as soon as possible. We'll get you a replacement. But, you signed on a handbook, and technically, according to the handbook, if you're sitting there and you're taking off all the keys and rearranging them, that is not just wear and tear. That is you physically taking the keys off. There can be a charge for that potentially, according to those handbooks and policies. Okay, respect the tech tools provided. We have a good amount. We don't have, unending amounts. Remember that it has been checked out under your name. It has to be returned, whatever that it is, the charger, the Chromebook, whatever, before you go to another school or before you, leave the district, like through graduation. You need to return it back. So keep up with it, respect it. Don't sit there and purposely destroy it. I'm not in the mood to see your barcodes. Those barcodes, once they come off, they shouldn't come off easily, but some of them are because people want to. Okay, that's identification. So think about how you're handling it and, respect the tech tools provided by the district. Okay? Now, think back to what I said. P, privacy and passwords are, respected. A, act according to, basic school norms and rules. In the digital world, adapt them slightly. N, network using only approved district learning management systems. T, think twice before typing and talking. H, remember to honor your own time and the time of others when it comes to, Google Meets and communication. E, remember to ethically use your digital and physical resources, when it comes to copyright and how do we handle things and things of that nature. R, Respect the tech tools provided by the district. Try and keep them up. Report, in a timely manner if something is wrong with them. Now, most of this should line up very well with the handbooks, with the guidelines, with the policies. So keep this in mind. It's a good general guideline, but ultimately always remember that you are responsible for what is ever in those handbooks, policies, and guidelines. If you have any questions, please watch this video again or contact me or somebody related to IT at eMurray. Well, for me, eMurray, EMURRAY. Please remember the A at ebrschools.org. Thank you so much.